Hello and welcome back. Now, for this episode, we're just going to is a continuation of the previous episode, or the episode about type 1 domino perfection. And for this episode, we're going to talk about type 2 domino perfection and how it kind of manifests itself. And I'm just going to use, in the spirit of being authentic and genuine, and I'm just going to use my own example, for instance. And you probably even see some of the mistakes that I've made, and that's okay, because here's the thing: most gurus out there make you think that they are perfect. They never make mistakes, but that's not the thing about being human. As being human, we are always prone to making mistakes. We're always prone to failure. And so these are some of the things that I'm just going to be sharing with you, what I found to be working with me and what I found to be working with me. Now, when you talk about type 2 dominant perfection, this one has to do waiting until that you've arranged all your domino pieces in place before you can knock off the first one. And then that way you think all the others are just going to fall off into place. And so the first one we talked about arranging the pieces, and the second one is whereby us do more with the motion aspect of the domino, of the creating the wave of the domino effect. And so this one has to do with that specifically. And I'm going to give you an example of this. One example of this is waiting until you have all your pieces gathered together before you can start. And so it's like the domino. When you're arranging the dominoes, what you do is you wait until you have all the pieces gathered together before you can actually begin the thing that you've set out your mind to begin. And that is a problem here, because here's the thing: you will not always have all the pieces together. And even if you do, you probably take too long of a time, and that time you could have made a lot more progress than if you had started from the get-go. And so the idea here is to overcome that idea by actually pointing it out the first time. So now you know what the problem is. And the second thing is to actually start doing, start knocking over the pieces even before you have all of them arranged together. Now, so the idea here is, I'm going to give you an example. Earlier on, I talked about when you're gathering resources for learning. In the first few episodes of this podcast, we talked about gathering the required books or the required reading material for actually learning what it is that you want to do, or what it is that you want to kind of become an expert in. And the problem with that one is if you wait until you get all the right books, what happens is you will never get all the right books. And probably even if you do that, you probably find you have maybe 1,000 different books that you need to read. And then what happens is it talks about overwhelm now begins to set in. And when there's overwhelm, what happens is you don't even feel like going ahead with the journey, because here's the thing. That's what the thing about overwhelm means. It means like if something is too big for you, a lot of the times if you're confronted about getting it done, you're going to stop. And so the idea here is it's not about getting everything that you need from the get-go, but it's about getting the first thing that you need. So in an example of a domino, you just need the first piece. And if you get the first piece, you can now, once you just roll it, get the next piece, and then get the next piece, and then get the next piece, and then get the next piece. And then over time, what you will do is you start ordering them by yourself, and then you can be able to create that domino effect that you want. And that domino effect will actually happen through in the long term than it would in the short term. And so this is a type 2 domino. This is a type 2 domino perfection, whereby you want to wait until you have all the pieces ordered together and arranged in a certain way before you can actually knock down the first domino. And so this can manifest in different ways. So you wait until you learn everything about a matter before you begin. It can manifest in the other way, whereby you wait until you understand everything before you begin. It can manifest in a way whereby you wait until you understand everything and before you actually begin it. It can manifest in a way whereby you wait until you have a certain amount of money before you begin. It can manifest in a way whereby you wait until you hit a certain weight. Like I remember for me, one of the reasons why I didn't do bodybuilding for a while is because, even though I loved it, is because I wanted to first of all cut off all the fat. That way, when I start doing bodybuilding, I can only build muscles. And the problem with that one is I never actually began. And so that's the thing about it. Another way this can manifest is waiting until you have the right running shoes before you begin running, or waiting until you have a degree before you begin starting a business, or waiting until you have a certification before you begin doing a business, or waiting until you learn about a skill before you can start selling it. And so it manifests in different ways. And this is something that I've noticed, especially in my life. It's been quite prevalent in my life. And so I decided to share this with you guys, that way if you're suffering from the same problem, you can be able to identify it. And the key to conquer it is actually to start doing things, to start taking action. And so you may not know what you're going to do tomorrow. You may not know what you're going to do the next day. You may not know what the next week you're going to read. You may not know what the next topic you're going to be studying. You may not know what the next exercise is going to be. If you're doing workouts, you may not know how you're going to do the next, your next run and whatnot. But the idea here is to actually make progress on a day-to-day basis. So you're going to start today and you're going to do something today. So you're supposed to read something, document it, and then begin from there. And so that's the key that I found to be able to overcome this type 2 domino perfection problem, so to speak. And so, yeah, let me know what kind of problem that you're having with you when it comes to perfection. If you struggling with perfection as well, and let me know what's the idea. What are you using to kind of get over it, and what are you using to manage it? What have you found that has worked for you, and do you think it's going to work for you? Try it and let me know. But for me, I found it works for me incredibly, because even right now I've just done 3 episodes of this podcast, and just because of kind of it's freeing when you're able to identify what the problem is and the reason for your bottleneck. And so I hope this helps you guys, and be sure to leave a comment in the section below and let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.